Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Terror, Season 1, Episode 7. It is called Horrible from Supper. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to start with a statement.
Go on.
And we'll see if you agree with it, or disagree with it. Or
Okay.
come down somewhere in between.
In the middle. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
go on then. What's the statement?
Any of these possibilities. It could be any of these things. Easily the best episode of the season.
Really?
Easily.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Final 10 minutes of this episode, best 10 minutes of the whole show.
I might agree with that. I'm not saying. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad episode. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I still
okay.
think it's a good episode. But I don't think it's easily head and shoulders above all the others, anything like that. There's no, you can, it might be the best episode, maybe, but it's not an easy thing.
And this is not me dissing the rest of the episodes. I've enjoyed the episode. I've been pretty positive throughout the show. But the tone that it was striking, the mood that it was striking, in fact, even before it got to the real meaty bit at the end, like just as they were, because obviously they go out on their walk this episode, that's what the episode is, it's them leaving the ships and going out and going through the ice, trying to find dry land, and then hopefully finding stuff they can hunt. Because obviously the crisis with the tinned food and the illness is sort of rising. We'll talk about the details of that in a bit. But once they were out hunting, and we had like the small groups of men, and we had the Hickeys group out there,
Yeah.
and the music, and just them walking this like endless flat land. Maybe it's just me, but like I was getting this almost science fiction vibe from it. It felt like they were on an alien planet, and obviously it's just it's our planet. We have different climates and we have very different areas on the planet, but it felt like an alien planet. I'm like, this doesn't feel like Earth. I mean, I know it is, but it doesn't feel like it.
Okay.
And
I
the
wasn't
music,
feeling that at all.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I was getting these vibes. I was digging that, and then the actual big ending, the big moment where they find some native individuals, and they go down, and one of them talks to them, and he's like trying to communicate. You got food, blah 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 blah. But in the Hickey and Co are back up in the ridge, and he's looking back, and they're there, and they're just gone.
Yeah, you
vanished.
just notice it at one point that they're not there
Yeah.
anymore.
And he's like, "Oh, can you?" He tries to tell him to wait. He's like, "Oh, can you wait a minute?" And here's a telescope for the food you just gave me. Like, wait a minute, I'll be back. And he comes up, and the music's just building, and Hickey's like down to his long johns, right? He's nearly naked, topless, and he's just over the other person's body. You can't quite see what's going on, and I'm like, is he even like feral? Like what?
It's very vampiric, isn't it?
It is, and then he turns around and you don't hear the sound of it. You just see him stab repeatedly, like into the chest, and then he's just there. Because the episode opens with a flashback of him signing up to come on the ship, and then we get a flashback at the end, just sort of after this. We get one little glimpse of him standing in the cold again afterwards, but it sort of bookends the episode with this little flashback of him coming on the ship for the first time, kind of hinting that he's not really got a past in the Navy. This is kind of like a new
Yeah,
thing for him.
especially this last one, it was very much like he's taken someone's place.
Yeah.
Like he's stolen. The guy's like, oh, hey, this is definitely my signature, but I don't remember you. As if he's taken this from someone. He hasn't earned his place here. He has just stolen it.
Because it was funny, because when we got the first scene, with this guy signing up, and he's a bit of a ginger, but like he didn't look like Hickey, and he's like signing up, and he's all polite, and the officer's like, oh yes, thank you, Hickey, I'll see you. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is a long time ago because I've got a different actor playing him. Like I thought, oh, this is like 17-year-old Hickey, just signing up for the first time.
That's what I thought first.
And it's not until the end when you see him come in and he's got the beard. Like, oh, I've got a beard. You don't recognise me. And oh, wait a minute, this is fishy.
So what did he do to that guy?
Yeah, this is fishy. And it's funny because I feel like the tone of the end of this episode is like so monstrous and horrific feeling. The true insanity of man and the monster of man and all the rest of it. And it's funny because I feel like if the first half of the show, the first half of the season hadn't actually shown me like a monster, like attacking people and having them all like deal with it.
You might have thought that there was never one the whole time.
Yeah, like, I might have thought the whole point of the show is that the monster just comes from within, and it's just him killing people or something like that. And I know it's not the case.
It can't be. We've seen it too much.
Yeah, we've seen it too much. Other characters have seen it. So that's just kind of just the fact that we've seen away from other characters, we've seen, Lady Silence, with it,
interacting
and,
with it. Yeah.
like, so it's not possible. But I would have almost have bought it had we not had all those scenes. It gave me that vibe where, or maybe the true monster at the end of the show is
If
actually.
it had always been like an unseen stalker sort of thing,
Yeah.
I'd agree. Yeah.
And that's not a complaint that it's not, but it's just, I don't know. I got like this. Obviously, Hickey's been like building all season, and he's kind of been this truant, I guess. He's almost like a troubled schoolboy, the way he acts.
Yeah.
He's kind of immature, and we've seen everything. And I kind of love, because earlier on in the episode, him and some of the other guys, the Marine, and they're talking about, oh, maybe we'll break away from the rest of the group. Like even if we just start hunting things, like we have to feed so many men. If we break into a smaller group of like 5 or 6, we can look after ourselves. We can move quicker. And, these ideas,
it sounded like he may have been suggesting some cannibalism.
it did sound like that at one point, and clearly that's what I think he's doing at the end. Beyond the initial killing, he's probably going to eat them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
The question is, how much of this is just Snap from being out here? He is completely, as we know now, untrained for these sorts of things. And how much is just the lead poisoning?
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got a mix. I wonder if like he was already so far gone, but then you combine it with this poisoning that is making, because we see another character in the episode. They're all set up tense when they finally get to the dry land, and it's like a relief, because obviously before that, a couple of them find the original party that Wicca sent out, the search party, and they only got 18 miles, and they're all there frozen to death, and it's like this bummer. And Captain, Francis, he's like, no. This does not leave the 4 of us. No one finds out. We cannot kill their hope with this. We can't.
And then the 2 who found them, they agree pretty happily.
Yeah, they do. Except one of them clearly is told Hickey, because later on Hickey uses that information to convince one of the lieutenants to sort of maybe be on their side. We need a lieutenant with us.
An officer is what he says. Yeah.
An officer, more specifically, yeah. So that's interesting, but the part I loved is that because they concoct this little plan, and then later on the Marine, he's like, oh yeah, we should probably set up more armed guard. I could maybe take a few of the regular men and train them, arm them, and put them on. And he's like, oh, who do you suggest? He's talking to the captain. He's like, who do you suggest? And he lists the names, and he gets to Hickey, and he's like, you know what, I appreciate the suggestion, but we'll see how it goes. It's all open land, and the other guy he's talking to Francis,
moves up bright tonight. We're good.
Yeah, the other guy he's talking to says to Francis, hey, that suggestion, understand why he was making that, right? No, the suggestion is fine. It's actually solid. I agree with the idea. What doesn't add up is some of those names. Yeah. As soon as he says Hickey, Francis just steps in and says, no, let's not do that.
No chance. I'm not giving Hickey a gun.
Yeah. So he knows there's something fishy about the list of names he said. And I like that. But we see this other character in the middle of the night while they're all camping just lose it. He wants to be killed. He's like begging to be, just shot or whatever, and he does eventually get shot because he almost shoots Francis. But again, it's this idea that things are so bad now that everyone is starting to really lose their shit. Because Goodsir, who's been the rock to everyone, he's been trying to help. He's trying to earlier on in the episode, he's trying to give therapy to someone else who's starting to feel it and be emotional. And after this, he just goes to his tent and he crawls up into a ball and cries. It's like he's shivering, he's shaking.
Yeah. He's pretty broken right now.
He's in shock. Yeah, Lady Silence comes and gives him a hug. she's not exactly been the most affectionate of characters. So it's like, even she's like, okay, right, you need some hugs.
You must be in a bad place if she's the one coming to offer some comfort.
Yeah. Of course, it escalates because it's heavily implied that Hickey. He admits that he killed the dog, but it's definitely heavily implied that it was not because he phrases it. Oh, I broke its leg. I put it out of its misery. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And the officers there like, okay, and he even says, oh, you don't need to believe me on that. I don't care. And then, he goes, what's important is the rest of the stuff. But it's the fact that he doesn't even bother trying to convince him. It's just like it's just the barest hint of a lie. It's like, yeah, that'll do.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, I probably didn't, but I don't care. I've said it. I've ticked the box. It's fine.
I did what I had to do, as far as he's concerned.
Because obviously he kind of puts 2 and 2 together because he sees Goodsir kind of stopping Lady Silence from eating the tinned food, and he kind of susses it. He puts out his feelers. He finds out what's going on, and he's like, oh, and the officer quite rightly says, well, even if this is all true, there's literally nothing we can do about it. We have to keep eating it. There's nothing
Hey,
else.
yeah, it's better than no food.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It'd be one thing if Francis and Goodsir knew about this, and obviously it's Francis's orders that he's saying no, the men can't know about this. And it'd be one thing if it was, oh, there's another option, but we're going to keep that all to ourselves and let the men suffer and without them knowing. No, he's right. There's nothing else they can do. They have to keep eating
I
the food.
assume he's eating it as well because.
Well, maybe because I assume there's not just the tinned food. Because I mean, otherwise,
Yeah,
why
that's
would
true.
Goodsir stop her from eating the tinned food? Because at least there must be something
Well,
else.
that's true. There must be a little bit of something. Yeah.
Yeah, because they talked about it when they were doing their inventory
Yeah, you're
an
right.
episode or two ago. There was other stuff. How much of that's left at this point? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and how much they managed to bring with them.
Yeah. Because that was the other thing at the start is Fitzjames was, oh, this is too much stuff we're taking with us. We can't, this isn't feasible. We can't take all this, all that way, all these miles. And Francis is like, oh yeah, I know that, but like, all these belongings that they care about, like, let's not break their spirit right now. Let them feel the weight of it, however many
Choose to
miles
put
in.
it aside.
Yeah, and then they'll want us to tell them to leave it behind. They'll want us to give that order because they'll hate having it with them. But for now, let them have the hope that they can take it. So there was some. But I think this episode more than anything else is all about fighting. I mean, I guess the psychotic side of human nature. I guess, and Hickey in a weird way is kind of becoming the personification of that for the rest to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he can't go back and just say, oh, something bad happened to them, right?
I don't know what he's going to try and do because, like I say, I mean, he could maybe get away with it. Say, oh, the monster attacked. He ran away.
Yeah. Because if he comes back to the other... Because remember, it was a team of 6 and they split into 2 threes.
Yeah.
If he goes back to the other 3 and says, oh yeah, something happened to those 2, like, people are so suspicious of him anyway that
Yeah,
I
they
feel
are.
like there's not much he can do to really convince anyone.
No, it's true.
He can't just show up with 2 guys missing and think Francis isn't going to assume that he's not somehow responsible. Even if he doesn't assume that he's a feral man beast, like, he'll at least assume you're responsible in some way. You sold them out. You did something.
No, it's true.
So, no. But I say, I really dug that. Once they were out hunting, that entire last section.
Oh,
That
that
was
last section is definitely great. I will say
fantastic.
I missed the boats a little bit, like the set of just all the being inside, the dark walls closed around them. I do miss that a little.
I like that. I think I'm okay with it being gone because we had it for 6 episodes and now we're we're out here, and like I say, I think the completely open space and the idea that the monster, if the monster's even going to show up again, maybe it'll just be Hickey now.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It makes me think of. I remember the scene where he sees it in the distance, and I wonder if that scene now plays differently in retrospect. Because now I'm thinking about it, it's almost like he's recognizing something in it, rather than just being scared. Like there's like
Yeah, that's true.
my
That's
inner
fair.
beast recognizes you or something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I think this made it more interesting
Yeah, definitely.
than just as a big monster try. I mean, I like that. Don't get me wrong. But I think this makes it a bit more like there's something more going on here than just that.
Yeah, definitely. We've been building to this for a while. Like, we
Yeah.
knew that people were getting ill. We had the thing between the captains where they were like, "Hey, look, when we were on this expedition before, people wanted to kill them. Yeah, that's going to happen. People are going to snap. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when."
Yeah, and it feels like outright. It's deranged. He feels deranged. He doesn't feel like he's a human being in that final scene. And I'm sure he'll go back to acting normal around other people, maybe, unless he's just like running around now killing people. if that's just him now.
I doubt it. I don't think that's as effective as
Yeah.
him going back in. You knowing that he can snap to being like that.
Yeah,
But
no, I
obviously,
agree.
we've been like not afraid of him for a while, but we've been on edge around him. Something's up. He's hiding something. He's been very weaselly. But now that we've seen him like this, it's okay. When's he gonna snap again? Who's next?
Yeah, plus 3 episodes left as well, so I don't expect he can just be running around killing people for 3 episodes. I feel like there has to be more of a build-up before
Definitely.
everyone's aware of what he's done, and to like because at this point they'll just shoot him on sight if they know what he's done here.
Yeah.
Just that's it. Like, just he's dangerous. Put him down. That's kind of the point we're at now with him. And yeah, I'll tell you what I liked as well. I liked all the stuff when they were leaving the ships of like Francis kind of saying goodbye to the ship and closing his journal, his captain's logbook, all that.
Can't be dragging that along.
No, can't be.
It's way too heavy.
Yeah. Also, I liked how like sound of mind he was this episode. It feels like he's really kind of gotten over his problems.
It does, because obviously last episode he was in a bad state. Even at the end, when he was only just going outside for the first time, and he was a bit shaky, and he gave his speech, but it felt like he was just kind of putting on a brave face for the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas now it does feel like no, he's all right. He's gotten over it, at least for now.
No, because his decisions are making sense. He's whenever he's talking to the men, he seems like when he promotes Jobson to an officer, because they're like, oh, we'll send out 400 parties, and it's like each one will have an officer. It's like, yeah, but we only have 3. If you're staying here, we only have 3. It's like, oh no, there's a new one. I'm going to promote someone, and Jobson gets, because Jobson points out earlier on in another scene that you're kind of, my job's kind of dwindling away because you don't need to be taken care of as much.
Yeah.
So
it's like, hey, do you want to go round up the other officers? Give you something to do.
Yeah. So, and he's got, and there's a genuine like happiness on his on Francis's face as he gets to do this. He gets to give him good news. There's not a lot of that he gets to give right now, so he sort of cherishes it, and he's like, "Here's something good."
Yeah,
and even the way Fitzjames kind of fakes it, he's like, because he signs the document,
outside,
and he goes to walk. I'm going to go find the shipmate, and I'm going to give him his promotion, and he just stops at the entrance to the tent and just turns and hands it to him. And so even he's having fun with it. So. Again, even the fact that Francis and Fitzjames, like their relationship, they seem to be more in sync. There was a moment where they climb up to see the flats when they climb up over the ice, and there's just a simple little moment where Francis holds out his hand to help Fitzjames up, and it's kind of like, oh, we're at this point now where they're actually giving each other boosts and lifting each other up, and simple little things.
They're at a point now where they'd stick together and help each other out, or we're all going to die.
Yeah, there's camaraderie there, which I think is a nice progression change from the first episode where they did not like each other at all, and it's kind of like through turmoil they've kind of had grown this attachment, and I think that's I think it's nice to see. And it's almost like in the middle of all this misery and doom and gloom and dread and like we say psychotic deranged man beasts, there's a little bit of hope sprinkled in there throughout. Even if they all die, there's just hope that sometimes we can come out through these things for the better. Like,
yeah, there's hope, but I'm sure it's going to be crushed.
Oh, I'm sure it will be, but just the idea that some of the characters, not all of them went mad and man beastie. A couple of them actually came out better before they died.
Yeah.
Assuming they die. They might not. Maybe there'll be some weird surviving story that we get at the end.
That would be particularly weird given that, the history of it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I kind of feel a bit cheated if some of them secretly survive.
It depends how they do it. Like, let's say Hickey survives, but he's just like a feral man beast running around in the middle of nowhere. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Except I really want him to die. But like in terms of conceptually, I wouldn't feel betrayed if it's something like that where he's just like a crazy man in the the middle of nowhere.
Sure, I could go with that. But if there's like a group of them survive and whatever, I will feel a little bit cheated because the whole thing is they all died.
Oh sure, I could see like Goodsir surviving, but he gets like amnesia and doesn't know who he is. So he's never connected to this. He's just a random person. But we know it's really him from the Terror.
Maybe. I'm still not a fan of that idea personally.
I'm not saying I'm the fan. I'm saying that there's certain ways they could kind of sneak in a survivor that wouldn't necessarily fly in the face of... Because it would be weird if like 10 of them survive and they all just agree, let's just all change our names and pretend that nothing happened. We don't know anything about this. That'd be weird.
It would. Even one of them doing that would be a bit weird.
Yeah. Except Hickey.
Except Hickey.
Hickey would make sense because he's a liar.
and he presumably has another name to go back to.
Very likely, yeah.
If Hickey's the name of the man who he stole the position from and signed up as, then he has a different name, but presumably that he can, if needs be, can revert to using.
Yeah. No. So I'm really curious about where this is going to go. I feel like it's been a very straight direction since the start, and that's been fine. It's been a very enjoyable, like tense, atmospheric direction. But I feel like this was the big shifting point in the season where, okay, no, it's actually really going to turn into this, and we've got this to contend with.
Could be, yeah.
So,
be interested to see what it is next episode. What's the premise of where we are now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, outside of the out in the tents and try to like find food, but what when Hickey comes back, if he comes back, in the sense where he pretends that he's still part of the crew and he's not deranged. I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, be interesting to see.
But hey, there you go. That is episode 7 of The Terror. So we're getting up there in the numbers. So episode 8's next week. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. You can do that over there, but otherwise that is it. So thank you once again for watching. We also appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?